Hi, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to read to you for a couple of minutes from Braiding Sweetgrass. I don't know if that shows up right by you. It's a wonderful book. The subtitle is Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants, which sounds really highfalutin, and it's a memoir by an Indigenous woman who is also a PhD in botany. It's an incredible book. It's so beautiful. So I want to read you a section because and then what I'm going to talk about for a minute is what happens when we compare ourselves to other writers. I'm speaking to writers. So hear me out here. Okay, so this is the chapter called The Gift of Strawberries. And I'm reading the second paragraph and then part of the fourth paragraph. In a way, I was raised by strawberries, fields of them, not to exclude the maples, hemlocks, white pines, goldenrod, asters, violets, and mosses of upstate New York. But it was the wild strawberries beneath the dewy leaves on an almost summer morning who gave me my sense of the world, my place in it. Behind our house were miles of old hay fields divided by stone walls, long abandoned from farming, but not yet grown up to forest. After the school bus chugged up our hill, I'd throw down my red plaid book bag, change my clothes before my mother could think of a chore, and jump across the creek to go wandering in the goldenrod. Our mental maps had all the landmarks we kids needed. The fort under the sumacs, the rock pile, the river, the big pine with branches so evenly spaced you could climb to the top as if it were a ladder, and the strawberry patches. And skipping ahead a little, you could smell ripe strawberries before you saw them, the fragrance mingling with the smell of sun on damp ground. It was the smell of June, the last day of school, when we were set free, and the strawberry moon. I'd lie on my stomach in my favorite patches, watching the berries grow sweeter and bigger under the leaves. Each tiny wild berry was scarcely bigger than a raindrop, dimpled with seeds under the cap of leaves. From that vantage point, I could pick only the reddest of the red, leaving the pink ones for tomorrow. It goes on. It's so beautiful. And so I'm writing a memoir right now. And if I were to read her and then compare myself to it, and writers do this all the time, they get paralyzed by reading something so good and go, what's the point of me writing? I can't write like that. No, I can't write like Robin Wall Kimmerer. And I'm not going to try to, because if I compare myself to her, it's not going to happen. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous writer. And so that's memoir. And in fiction, if I try to write like Toni Morrison, who's one of my just favorite writers, oh, really? Nobody can write like Toni Morrison. Only Toni Morrison could write like Toni Morrison. And she's just an exquisite, powerful, fabulous writer. So, but writers need to read, right? So we don't read to compare, and not just the brilliant writers, but we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to anyone. But instead, if we change that mindset and read to nourish ourselves, when I read Kimmerer, it nourishes me and reminds me, oh, I think, in this chapter I just wrote, I need more setting. I need to add more sensory detail. What can I add in the way that I do it? She reminds me of that. And when I read Toni Morrison a million years ago for the first time, I'm not going to try to write like Toni Morrison, holy cow, really? But she taught me, especially about sentence structure and how you can write long, loopy, awesome sentences that gain power and can mirror the emotion of the character. I learned so much from reading her, but I didn't compare myself to her because that's just silliness. So this is for writers to remember that, yes, we need to read, and we read to nourish ourselves and to just to enjoy. But then when you find something you really like, that you're really drawn to because it's so good, don't compare yourself to it. Learn from it. See how it's done. Take it apart and see what you can learn, how you can be nourished and inspired to go forward and to strengthen your own voice. That's my tip for the day. I'm Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Writing Studio, and I help writers lift their voices. Take care.